we're back home, and the first thing you do, I should say, and the first thing we do when we get back home is immediately tear the boat apart, because we have all of these ideas that we want to put into action on the reboot. A few things broke, but really, given how long we were out and what we put her through, she was golden. But there was one thing that happened that I want to try before we give up the ghost on the air conditioner, the one that's under here. And let me get some light in here and I will show you what I mean. Okay, this is looking down into our starboard cabin under our bunk, and you can see these are our emergency water that we did not end up needing, but it's always nice to have it. I think I'm going to move it forward. I'm not going to do it today, but I think I'm going to move it more. Ooh, that's leaking. That would explain why it's half full. I think I'm going to move the water more forward to balance the boat better, but not today. Today, it's so dark in here now. Okay, today I'm going to do a couple of things. The first one is get a better light. Hold on. All right, this is my Webasto Platinum aircon from 2019. We had it installed, and it has worked about as well. It worked all right. We used it a lot in Charleston, but I'm going to do a couple of things to it to see if I can fix it before we get rid of it. We got an E3 error message, and what that means is that there's low freon, or low coolant, I guess. There's low coolant in the system. Unfortunately, you can't re-up the freon in these. It's like once it's gone, and which is stupid and horrible. And I will never buy another one of these. But the other air conditioner over on the other side threw that code as well. And I was really freaking out because I was like, great, we're in the Bahamas and now we have no air conditioning. But what I did was I cleaned off all of there's like a whole bunch of evaporator tines right here, and that's what cools it off. And then I rinsed out the condensate tray here, and I got it running again, and it has continued to run, and it only threw that E3 once, and it hasn't ever since. So today I'm gonna clean this, and I'm gonna clean these with like a bleach detergent. And for everybody screaming, oh my God, don't use a bleach detergent. Right now this is non-functional. So my goal is to get it functional. Like I got the other one functional. Oh, I gotta take my rings off too. And my goal is to get it functional like I got the other one functional. And if it's still not functional after this, then we're gonna pull it out and just put a different brand model. We're gonna put one in that has a soft start, that's a lot more efficient, that's basically taking advantage of some of the newer technology. But let me clean this off first and I'll see what we can do. All right. Fun fact, bleach will cause platinum to crack. And if you ask me how I know this, I can tell you because I clean with bleach and I cracked my platinum wedding band and had to go have it repaired. So I'm going to spray it with bleach, and then I'm going to pull the garden hose in here and spray everything down. Make sure the condensate pump is working and that is clean. Spray some in here to get that rinsed out. And then once I get this all cleaned out, once I get it all cleaned out and rinsed out, I'm going to put condensate pan tablets in here, and I usually put a bromine tablet in the raw water strainer, and that keeps critters from growing. And this is just sort of stuff that I added a long time ago, kind of ad hoc, to try and keep what was happening is because this is an uninsulated vent, I was getting a ton of condensation on this and it was losing efficiency and the air coming out wasn't that cold. So I just sort of hillbilly redneck that to have it be better. But what I really need to do is just get insulated vents, insulated hoses for the aircon. All right. So next step is to rinse everything out and take a look at what the condensate pump is doing. Oh yeah, I gotta clean this too. Yuck. And some of the other things that I just finished cleaning was the ice cube maker, which came in super handy. We ran it when the engine was running, and we ran it when we were plugged into shore power. Hydrogen peroxide cleaner, my favorite general onboard cleaner. I do not use vinegar anywhere on the boat. Cleaning with vinegar, A, makes your boat smell like a salad or a pickle, and B, most vinegar has organic compounds in it unless you're using pure acetic acid. And once the vinegar evaporates, you leave behind organic compounds on whatever surface you are cleaning with, which ironically, mold loves. So I use hydrogen peroxide to clean, which breaks down into oxygen and water, I think. H2O2, maybe? I don't know. I'll look it up. This is coming off. We had a soda stream on board, never used it. Never. So that's okay. Here is what's going in the condensate pan treat. It's for like land-based aircons, but works well on the boat too. So that is going to go right there. And the bromine tablets are down on that side. I'll get that later. These get really dirty really fast. Top of my replace list is this awful galley countertop. It's just non-functional. If you get any water in between the two of these things here, it just goes everywhere. It's awful. And I hate it. And it's one of those things that I really want to prioritize for this summer to have it replaced. There are all my paper towels. Don't want to use a paper towel. All right. I'm just going to let this dry out in the sun. Now I'm going to go get the hose and snake it down through the hatch and start rinsing everything out. And one important thing, make sure your aircon is like off at the breakers when you're like futzing around inside of it. I mean, it's just good general advice for anything that you plug in that you're working on is to shut the power off so you don't zap the shit out of yourself. All right. The other thing I have to do today is flush the other aircon with fresh water because this is the water maker raw water line. So funny when you find a label that never got put on. This is my condensate pump. Get the camera. Okay. This is my condensate pump. And what's going to happen when I flush the water through there, it's going to run through the pan, come into here, and then this should pump it out. And that should work regardless of whether the aircon is on or not, but it may not. And then this is the AC strainer. I'm going to open that up and make sure that's cleaned out too. This is where I keep the bromine tablet. So the condensate tablet goes in here and over in the air conditioner, and then the bromine tablet goes in here, and that keeps barnacles and all sorts of crazy things from growing and clogging up your lines. So, time to get working. Oh, and as an aside, I can see we've still got a little bit of water down there. And that is from when the check valve for the toilet exploded. And that sounds terrible, but it's actually not. I've got the replacement piece. It should be, knock wood, it should be a pretty easy fix. All right. What are we going to start with? Start with a little bit of a... I'm going to change orientation of the camera because I do not want you looking at my butt the whole time. There we go. I can already see they were not shiny before, and now they're starting to look a little shinier. And I'm going to keep pouring water on it until I see the condensate, until I see water starting to go down the condensate. So you can see we're getting some water flowing down in there, which is good. And I'm going to keep rinsing this out. So we want to do this. All right, now that's definitely underwater. So let's see what is happening on the other side. All right, we're getting some water in there, which is good, because the other one also had the line from the condensate pan to the condensate pump was actually blocked, and I can definitely see water going in there. So that's one less thing I need to do for this side. All right. Don't you dare. Okay, so that is annoying sounding, but it is working, even though the rest of the air conditioning is off, because that should be, for whatever reason, that should be attached to the, it's funny, it didn't come on, and then I wiggled the wires, and it did come on, and now I'm seeing if it's actually going to turn off. Man, I'll spare you the sound. It got alarmingly high before it decided to actually start. There we go. A little concerning, but it is working. While I'm down here, I'm seeing some alarming stuff right there. I kind of want to know where that's coming from. It is not coming through from my new through hulls, which is good. This is my saltwater line, which I'm going to get rid of. So many through hulls, but I do see that there's some mold over there, so I'm going to kill that. Okay, it's all rinsed off and clean, and this is now clean. We're going to put that back in, and we're going to put the fan on this to let it dry off for a little bit. Okay, and I'll probably put another fan down in here as well, and wipe it all down too to get it dry. And while that's condensate. Again, hand treat. 1, 2. Basically, anywhere I can see kind of like gunky stuff building up in the pan. I think it's just an algicide. But, alright, those are in, and I'm gonna go wash my hands and flush out the other side. So I gotta stop saying so. Alright, here's where we're at on this side. This is the freshwater flush bypass system that I created. It's basically just a T-head with a screw, and then get that piece from Home Depot, this from Home Depot, and then you can kind of control it with a hose, and then you just carefully and slowly turn it on, and it will flush out your aircon system, because once you stop using it, all of that marine water trapped in the hoses smells awful. Like, it smells so bad right now. I gotta turn the camera off and fix it and make it better, because, ugh. Alright, let's see how we do. I turned it on. 76. It's running there. It's kind of hard to see, but I've got good flow going through. Main pump's running. I'll have to clear that out later if it's working, but so far so good. Although usually it takes about 5 minutes before I get that E3 error message. So we're going to watch it for a while and see if that worked. And if it worked, great. And if it didn't, then we know we tried everything. See you out there.